Welcome back to Tennis Manager episode 61. With the end of the season now upon us, we have won the World Cup for the U.S., 21st title for the nation. Russia won the men's title, their fourth. Italy won the boys, and the U.S. won the girls. So a straight sweep on the girls' side of things, or on the ladies' side. As the season comes to an end, the winners, Alcaraz, Shang won that finals tournament, so she bounced back after losing in the finals of the World Cup to win the women's tour at the end of the season. We just missed qualifying for that tournament. The boys, Bramajo and Ellison Moore has won the girls. No big news on the men's side of the awards there, but best progression in the top 100 went to Nagunye, our former player. Best improved ranking through the top 100. Best under 21, Emerson Jones. Of course, we were second to her in the next gen finals, which I think is where that title comes from. Kruger had the serve on fire. Brenda Ferventova was the best returner with a 46% win rate while returning. Martina King was the best player on clay this last year with a 58% win rate, which did not match the 60% on grass for Swiatek. It was not matching Diana Schneider for indoor with 69%, but I'm guessing that Schneider didn't play that many matches indoor with that sort of rate and not really being a known name in the top of the rankings. Top four at the end of the year for the men's were all in the top five a year ago, and it was their names all over that list. The surprises are the rise of Fils and Shelton. In the women's game, Shang jumps back to number one at the end of the year with her individual title, up from fourth a year ago. Swiatek has dropped to second right at the end of the season. Brenda Ferventova is now third, and Riva is fourth, so you definitely have a little bit of a change, but all were in the top 10 last year. Sabalenka down a couple of spots. Goff up one spot from a year ago, ahead of Rybakina, who swapped places. Osaka, who had dropped to 16th, back into the top 10. Jones, who was at 20th, is 9th, and there is King, up from 15th a year ago to now a top 10 player. And just looking at total points won, 82% for those top players, into the 70s here. King at 78%. Comparatively, that could be enough to get us up to maybe fourth or fifth at some stage in the coming year. Just how that could have or should have worked. Serve points won, King at 67 is the highest on this page. Return points won, definitely a little bit lower, but certainly a competitive number at 41%. Tiebreakers won, 52%. Almost a dead heat 50-50, and you can see just how far behind a couple of the players that puts us, and you can see from Shang at 55. Yeah, that's not too far off. Oh, ranking is 3 right now. I was looking at... she's going to start the year ranked number 1. Okay, she finished the season ranked 3rd. So they're not really counting that little final piece, final element. Anyway, the aces, just 1%. But, I mean, even for the best servers, 4% is all we're talking about. And that's why I don't spend as much time working on that. Just get it in. First serve percentage, 73 for King. And that helps set her up to win a lot of points. Double faults, just 1%. None of them are high. Games won indoor, 61%. We are like second in that department. Outdoor, 57%. Very much in it with everybody around us. Like there's quite a few 57%ers. Grass, 55. A little bit lower than others, and we already know that that is our kind of weak point, but it's still above some of the ones behind us in the standings. And then clay at 59, just barely squeaking out the competition, but yeah, best. In the men's game, of all the nations that have won World Cups, multiple World Cups that is, Germany is the longest since claiming a win back in '93. Sweden with 7 titles, hasn't won one since '98. And the latest couple, Russia, has emerged out of the pack of 3 to be solo in 7th at 4. There's definitely a top 6 here. There's definitely a top 2 here with the US and Australia, 33 and 28. Australia hasn't won one since 2003, though. And so the US has slowly caught up and surpassed. It's been 2 years now since the US won one after, well, a year ago, right? Not the one just concluded. And are now 2nd in the rankings, with France still number 1. In the women's, 21, well clear of everybody else. Czech Republic did win one a couple years ago. Australia hasn't won one since '74. Spain since '98. And still somehow, like with multiple, we've won the last 2 years in a row. Somehow the U.S. still has not climbed up the rankings. We've gone from 4 to 2 now in the last 2 years. In the boys, U.S. ranked number 1, just barely though, up 2 spots, and did not win the World Cup over the last year. It was Italy with their 2nd. The U.S. has 6 of them, but so does Spain and Australia. Girls, U.S. ranked number 1, up a spot from where they were. Czech Republic was number 1, and that is now 11 titles for the girls, with Czech Republic claiming one a couple years back, their 6th. Australia, their latest in 2011, and Russia 2013. So I've signed new sponsor contracts for each of King, Noelle, and Nava. So that's brought in a little bit of money in signing bonuses, maybe 50K or so. But our board contribution is huge this year, 536,000. That's a fantastic chunk of cash I didn't expect. We're obviously going to get to the infrastructure in just a moment to look to spend most of that million right off the bat. Otherwise, they're going to take a lot of it back away from us anyway. But in the meantime, we've got goals to set up. Nava's already upset, and he's just outside of the top 100 right now. Noelle at 111. Her ranking didn't really change going into the offseason. Kings didn't change at all, so no retirements ahead of us. So I want to aim for a top 100 for Nava. He's not happy at all with that. I want to qualify for a slam. He's already upset, so we might as well do what we can to lower this. I mean, is he even making 250s? National ranking of top 50. Well, I don't know if we're going to achieve any of these goals. Noelle, very happy right now. Wants top 70. Let's watch that drop a little bit. Not too bad. Top 100. Qualify for a slam. Still doing pretty okay. I think we can aim to win a title. Pro 70. Top 20 for national rankings. That's up 1 spot from where we're at. Okay, we come out of that with still at least some mood. That's okay for Noelle. King, this is going to be tough, though. Already into the top 10. She's only going to want more, right? Well, okay, top 10. I like that. We can definitely do that. And she's happy still. Participate in the finals. Yeah. Make a semi for a Grand Slam. I think we can go for that this year. She's still very happy. Win a title for any of these others. That feels quite doable. She feels like she could win more than one, but that's good. We came out of that with a very happy King, relatively happy Noelle. Nava is pissed off, but was already pretty upset, so he'll bounce back. First, the big cash injection. I'm gonna put it into something that's gonna help us make more money, set that balance up in the way we want it to be. We lose so much, and you know our payouts aren't massive. So 20K to the good for a heliport. It's going to take 4 months, 730,000. But then I'm going to the sports center and I want to begin the process to unlock slots for more athletes and more staff so we can grow in those departments. You can actually make more money by having better staff, and you know all of it kind of trickles down. More prize money, all of that should help, right? I'm going to start with grass courts because I could use a bonus. It's going to drop me to 50K though, so we are going to have to kind of halt things. I don't have any money coming in. I don't want to fall into debt just yet. We're going to hang on to that for a little bit, but it's a player opening, so it will give a little bit of a negative balance, but it allows us to sign another athlete and get a 20% bonus on grass, which King in particular could use that. That's her weakest area. First training session of the year has given King a 19 in anticipation with bonuses. Easily will hit 20 all year long. After going through the whole of the top 100, well, okay, maybe not the whole, about 50 of them, and there's 15 to 20 that I didn't talk to because they were already in an academy, and then there was about 30 that I didn't talk to because they're already 28 plus and into the twilight of their careers. I finally switched over from the senior rankings and went to the junior rankings, and the very first athlete in the rankings that is not yet already in an academy is a 17-year-old who is actually quite inclined and interested in talking with me. Diana Maria Aldia Wesley. The Romanian player apparently would take a promising player, and I'm fine with the contract length. This is a one of those projects, but I'm fine with that signing bonus. 23K, no problem. But what happens if let's bump that up to offset the 75% proposal. Okay, 75%. I have no idea how good this player is, though, so could be interesting. She is currently ranked 11th in the juniors, though, and I mean, at least has some quality, but developing athletes has not been the strong suit of our academy up to this point, but I do have better staff than before. Yeah, it was 55, and I actually already clicked on one of them. So 56 failed negotiations. And we're going to sign each and every one of these contracts. They've all agreed. King, natural fitness up to a 17 with some season prep that went into the physical side to get ready for the season. And so a look at Wesley's profile. Decent technically already at just the age of 17. Decent physically, but definitely not outstanding. And decent mentally, except for the untrainables of the composure, killer instinct, and fighting spirit that are literal bare minimums. She's a 1.5 star of 3 to even 4.5 star type potential already, but is standard, meaning she's not going to develop too quickly right now. Responsible, recovers more physical condition during each night, is good. Sensitive, tends to react better to talks and start matches with extra motivation. And demanding, offers a smaller share of revenue to sign a contract, but we've started with a very good 3-year contract and a very healthy revenue, so I suppose it's okay on that part, but I think maybe physically is where I want to train her early on. My new physio Novak is going to go ahead and work with Alexa Noel, giving 3 to 3.5 stars for all of our leaders. 2.5 stars Marufo will work with Wesley. That's a tier 3 seasoned physio. So we're looking at a 3, a 4, a 4 with the new one, and a 5 with the best one we've been able to get signed so far. None of the 5s I asked. Every last one of them were interested in signing with us at this time. But how we look at Del Olmo is already assigned to 3. We're going to have to look at, what does Cortazar specialize in? Tactics. So that's, yeah. Cortazar, 3-star, okay. The rookie's going to develop faster, but not really, right? Not at this point. She just has further to go. 2.5 for technical and technical. Wallace is already doing 3, but I could take Wallace off of working with me and put Wallace down there. And then we've got Orange for a bonus with Valdez. I could maybe pull Orange off of here. So technical training won't be great for Wesley, but we can definitely focus on the physical and tactical training and should be able to make at least a decent amount of progress in that area for our new athlete. Okay, Wesley wants to get into the pro circuit. She has no ranking there. She hasn't competed there yet, but she wants to this year, and we have no choice but to set goals. Top 1,000. That's good. Okay. Quarterfinal of a rookie level tournament. I think we're going to be able to keep her pretty happy with this stuff. Top 20 on the women's tour. That's the lowest. I don't know how many Romanian players there are, right? We do get to set goals for the juniors. She wants to be number 1. Can we go for like top 5? Oh, she's happy with that. She wants to win the title. Let's participate. Yeah, she's not too happy about that. Let's make a semifinal for the juniors. Okay, well, that left her not too thrilled. She wants to dominate at the juniors level. Great. Our level 5 trainer is going to retire at the end of the year, as will our level 4 trainer. So we're losing 2 trainers at the end of the year due to retirement. I will not play any of these matches personally. I'll have to quick sim just this first week of the season because I need to wrap this episode up. But Sabalenka is already into the round of 16, and as for Martina King, we got a first round bye, currently ranked 10th, 5th seed for this one. Nice path. We've got a wild card player, and then Katrina Scott for a round of 16. We should be able to progress easily into the later stages. 6-4, 6-1 in our opening match of the year with a +20 on winners. We've never gone head-to-head with Scott. It's a balanced match, but we have better form and should be winning this one. It took 3 sets, and we do. I'm surprised it was that difficult. -1 on winners, but we... big negative on unforced errors, but a huge advantage in the forced errors with a +22. So we controlled the match. We just couldn't beat her easily. We had to beat her the hard way. So already down to the quarterfinals, and Sabalenka was knocked out in the round of 16. So the one who took her out, Kostyuk, is already into the semis. Rybakina is into the semis to go head-to-head with her, and then the bottom end of the rankings is Wang and Wang playing each other, the same two that we just saw in the World Cup finals competing for China. 63rd and 40th are their rankings, and they will make up one semifinalist. The other semifinalist is us versus Corey Goff. Are you kidding me? So the number 1 player that's still alive in the tournament is who we have to play. Unlucky to have to play her in the quarterfinals. But I suppose that is the nature of the beast. Emerson Jones got knocked out by Wang. Diane Perry, the other one, knocked out by the presumably sister, but not necessarily popular name. 4-1 all time against Goff. Are you kidding me? We're 4-1 against her. I knew I'd beat her before, but I forgot that we have been so dominant against Goff. But not this time. Not today. 6-7, 6-7, each time getting 4 points in the tiebreaker. We were 46% of the points won, though, so she should have beat us by a lot more than she did. Total winners was +1, though. Unforced errors, an ugly mess of a minus cajillion, aka 17. Forced errors was a +3, so winners and forced errors was right there, but we shot ourselves in the foot again and again and again here to start the season. Shouldn't be disappointing, though, to lose to the number 6 player in the world. And that brings an end to our first tournament with 15K. We also had Noelle going out in the round of 16 for 8K, and Nava first round exit for 7.5K, but it was a bigger tournament. With the higher rankings, both of them are playing in bigger tournaments than what we played in last season. They brought that ranking right up that little bit in the last part of the year, and it gave us an opportunity to get them into bigger, better tournaments. Now, adding up to a combined 30K from the 3 of them in the first week of the year. Not too bad. And of course, our first slam is right around the corner, but we're into January of now 2030. Is this the year? Will we get our first slam victory? I think King absolutely is underdog, but could win one of them this year. I don't think it's necessarily likely. She's very much an underdog in each and every tournament at this point, but she is in that top 10 in the world, and I think she's there to stay and could finish this year around 6th or 7th as we, inch our way up that little bit more. I'm trying to give her a little less in tournament play and a little more time to train and develop and get that last little push, get those last handful of points in on the technical side, so that she can make that final push and overcome. We've won a 1K tournament. We've won a 500 tournament, I think. But we've won a big tournament. Like, we're there. And we just won the World Cup against the now #1 player in the world. We've beaten Goff many times. Like, she's there. She could beat them. She's just not the favorite yet. But she can beat them. I think it's possible that we could take one of the 4 slams this year to complete the job. That's going to do it for this episode, though. At the moment, we're down to 219K, so we're definitely not spending that money right now. But if we have a good opening slam in Australia, we could turn that into what we need financially wise to go secure another athlete. But who do we get? Because all we could end up signing was a 17-year-old at this point. That's going to do it for this episode, though, of Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.